Well, what was missing today was to talk about this that's been showing up on Polyanalytica, which shows these comments from Maduro. Let's listen to it. The audio is very low, but oh well. Maduro claims that in his view, Marco Rubio is the one calling the shots at the White House. Marco Rubio always seems close to getting fired. So, he doesn't really run the White House or anything. If he gets results, he'll stay. If not, they'll fire him. I mean, in that sense, Trump usually doesn't hold back, especially in such an important position like Secretary of State. So Marco Rubio must meet Trump's expectations or risk being out. I think he wants to stir things up, according to Marco Rubio. Well, those topics, you see? No, we also have them. Well, this document that some opposition senators of Petro published over there in Colombia was presented or is intended to be presented. Is it going to be presented to the Senate of Colombia? A proposal to declare Nicolas Maduro's Cartel of the Suns as an international terrorist organization. It has already been signed by different political parties. It has already been signed by several senators. So, well, it would be very interesting because that totally contradicts the version of Petro, the president of Colombia. He says the Cartel of the Suns doesn't exist. Well, with this, the politicians over there in Colombia would say it does exist and we have to do something about it, right? So that topic caught people's attention today, but what's more important is what happened about it today. It was, well, what happened with this boat, which ended up sinking, right? Basically, it was completely destroyed. And let's move on to other topics, right? Other important matters as well. Hey, check out the images from the parades, or rather, the parade they put on over there in China. Obviously, nothing less than this was expected. I mean, obviously, the images are impressive. Well, Xi Jinping was always showing strength. It's minutes and minutes and minutes of tanks, missiles, planes. Both sides blink the same way, right? Or they all blink at the same time. So... I mean, yeah. The show they put on is impressive, right? The discipline that's usually shown in this kind of thing is amazing. And well, Xi Jinping is always like that. Like, I keep it cool, you know? I mean, the attitude is different, for example, with Putin, who's more energetic, more direct, and this guy is always like...
Yeah, like relaxed. For example, to make the sounds, yes, it's very hard to find it with expressions because it always has the same neutral expression, right? And Putin is super expressive there. Yes, the one who beats him is also Trump. Exactly.
Trump is more expressive than the rest. Do you notice this? Let me jump ahead, but yes, it's impressive.
I mean, it keeps going, it doesn't stop.
Ballistic missiles, armored tanks, electronic warfare, some of these armored vehicles that have equipment for electronic warfare, right? Nuclear weapons were also presented, which are supposedly the latest, where... We'll talk about that tomorrow because they're just now releasing information on this topic, and besides, it's not the most relevant. There's the classic besides... They do that thing where the car is moving, you hear his voice through the microphones as he gives orders, right? I honestly don't know what orders he's giving, but he gives orders. There are some missiles, some ships, well, these are small ships, really not much, but in that sense, some huge missiles. We have all kinds of things. Some planes too, back there, you can't really see those stealth planes, right? Which are also usually very similar bombers. By the way, I think these two, this one looks like a drone, that one is, well, it's not manned. That's also important. And the helicopter, well, you know, right? A bunch of things. He's giving the orders there. There are the microphones. In the car, they just play music for him. It's like, I didn't want to put it with the voice so you could hear Chimby a little. Also, look at this moment. Who do you see over there? Three friends, Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, going up the stairs, the red carpet to watch the parade. And there go other leaders as well. Let's say the bloc against the West. Actually, it's not really against the West. But the most impressive thing was that moment when they stand in this square. Obviously, the idea is Tiananmen. It's Tiananmen. To listen, even if it's from far away, the moment with the cannons could already be heard there. There are 80 cannons, one cannon for each year that has passed. Since the end of the World War, 80 years have passed since the end of the World War. Well, there are 80 cannons being fired at the same time. And this one? Well, there it is. There's the movement. Now here it is. Well, this is the classic one. Look how they march even to set up the cannons. Everything was like this. Step 1, 2, 3. Classic, very classic. This kind of movement, a show of strength. Do you remember when he wanted to hold the parade? Trump? No, well, no. They clearly think differently. There, everyone is expected to be the same. Super disciplined. It's not better or worse, just a different mindset. The mindset of someone from this side of the world, let's say, doesn't really think that everything has to be so rigid. Do you agree? I mean, so did you notice if they were marching or were they just walking or were they really just walking? Well, the soldiers here look better. I mean, but I'm not saying it's better, but it's just that exactly because the soldiers here, I mean, yes, exactly. It's always like they're just different mindsets. I feel like not just now, the best part of all this was this post. I think for me, these things, I mean, it has a lot of nonsense. What has this Donald Trump said in the posts he has made on his social account? I think this is his best one because it's really funny. I'm going to read it in full, but I think the best part is the ending. So listen to it, listen to him. The ending is really great. Here it is. This message is for Xi Jinping and everyone over there. Yes, here is Trump's message for all this parade show they're putting on, says Donald Trump. The big question is whether President Xi of China will mention the tremendous support and blood that the United States of America gave to China to help secure its freedom from a very hostile foreign invader. In that case, well, Japan, many Americans died in the pursuit of victory and the greatness and glory of China. I hope they are honored and remembered justly for their bravery and sacrifice. May President Xi and the wonderful Chinese people have a great and lasting day of celebration. I ask you to convey my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as they conspire against the United States of America. President Donald Trump, I mean, everything was going super diplomatic, really. What any president in the world would have said, so I thought, wow, this is Trump. I mean, it doesn't even seem like Trump, right? I mean, it was like a very, very formal message. Well, yeah. I mean, reminding him that, hey, Americans also fought there and they fought so you could be freed from Japan, right? I mean, like, you kind of owe that favor to the United States, so to speak, right? And so it goes on. The topic keeps moving forward. I send warm greetings to Putin, to Kim Jong-un, and finally, the mountains. While you are conspiring against the United States of America,
There's an answer, or at least it sounds like one. Let's see, what is it? Where they say they will never let themselves be intimidated by any bully. That's what they said today at the parade. Just minutes ago, President Xi Jinping said, "The Chinese nation is great and never lets itself be intimidated by any bully." In the past, when we faced crucial struggles between good and evil, light and darkness, progress and reaction, the Chinese people united to defeat the enemy.
By the way, if there are American soldiers who are going to be there, I mean, who were in the war, who were in that war protecting China, they will be there. And well, and Chinese soldiers obviously too. But I mean, it's interesting, right? Who would have thought that when the war ended, how things would turn out in the future, right? I mean, imagine China's, Russia's, and the United States positions. Honestly, yes. These 80 years have been impressive as the world changed, including what we see now. Well, it's a kind of new bloc that people have always talked about, right? Whether it's the new bloc, new order, or whatever you call it. Well, for many, this is the beginning of a new order led by China. There's no doubt about that, not because of Putin, not because of Kim Jong-un, but mostly led by Xi Jinping. In any case, no. And with the arrangement they had, did Oya negotiate what they did? It won't happen right away, but it will be important. We already discussed it during the midday broadcast. I mean, they finally made an agreement because they've been wanting to do it for a while. It's about a gas pipeline that will carry a lot of oil. Well, actually a lot of gas from Russia to China. Now it's 70 billion cubic meters per year. When you see that Europe used to buy 3 times that amount from Russia, yeah, I mean, it's not like that's not the case either. I mean, China is consuming a lot, but China doesn't want to buy everything from them. They only want to buy a part because it's not convenient to depend too much on Russia either. Seems like today is the major breakthrough for big business. What caught my attention were the headlines in Mexico, Latin America, and the United States. They called it a big blow to the West, but looking at the numbers, you just thought, yeah. Because it does have an impact. Because in the end, they're not going to buy it anymore. They're going to buy it with rubles and yuan, and that affects the dollar. You see the amount and think it's important, but not that significant. And besides, the project will be ready in about 6 years. Yeah, I mean, it still has a while to go, and that's what they're saying right now, that it'll be ready in 6 years. Maybe by then, the forces will be enemies. I mean, too many things could happen right now.
Exactly. Well,
And is it going to go through Mongolia? By the way, the pipeline? That's an interesting topic. They didn't want to accept it, and now they've accepted it reluctantly. At the same time, yes, let's move on to other important matters.